What's up, YouTube? Budget Seth Rogen back again for some new shenanigans. It's been a minute, and we'll get into that in a future video, some life changes, if anybody cares, that is. I just realized I was holding the camera kind of crooked. But I want to show you what I've got here behind me and kind of jump into some future videos on the channel, what's new. We'll start with the bike, of course, first. We got a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump into that. Now, it's been a long time. We do have some things to talk about. We'll break that up into future videos so I don't make this one too long and bore you guys out of existence from this channel. So, right here in front of us is a 1997 Kawasaki KLX300. I traded one of my AR-15s for this bike a couple of days ago, and I'll put a picture of the bike, what it looked like. I mean, I haven't really done much, but the plastics had some really ridiculous looking vinyl on them. I'll put that picture up now. So there's that in all its glory. I pulled off those stupid skull and star decals off of the rear fairings back there, which I went ahead and pulled off, and the seat as well, because I kind of want to show you some fuckery that's going on with the bike. But this thing's cool. I mean, I rode it for about 10 minutes couple days ago when it was nice weather out here. Like yesterday, it was like 80 degrees. We're in DFW, of course, but 80 degrees in the beginning of January is kind of wild. But let's jump into the bike. Enough about the weather. So I went ahead and pulled off the rear plastics and the seat. It actually does have a Sargent seat on it, which is kind of cool. It's reasonably comfy. I've never ridden a dirt bike at all before, and I heard that they feel like you're sitting on a 2x4, most of them, at least on the stock seats. And that one's not horrible. I am 6'7", like 270 pounds, maybe 280, you know, on a bad day, but which is every day. But yeah, it's not incredibly comfortable, but I think it's just kind of my fat ass making that the way it is. You can tell it's the way it is because of the way it is.
How neat is that?
Anyway, let's jump into some quirks and features. I have a feeling that some of the components jetting and stuff's not correct. So we'll start here. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, let me come around the side of the bike here. You may be thinking to yourself, wow, it's got a Yoshi on it. Well, it's got the stock exhaust with a Yoshimura sticker on it. Yeah, so when I saw that on Facebook Marketplace, I just, you know, my ignorance to dirt bikes and stuff, I was like, oh cool, it's got a Yoshi on it. You know, my wife's CBR600RR has a Yoshi on it, a real Yoshi. There's the actual plaque on there. This is just a sticker. So when I saw that, I was like, man, I had some other stuff I was going to trade as well as my AR for this, like some body armor, some level 4 plates from RMA, and then a Shellback Tactical skirmish plate carrier. And I was like, I'll not trade the plate carrier and stuff to you just because, you know, I thought it had a $300 exhaust on it, and some other things were questionable as well. The kid in Messenger, when I was talking to him, said he just replaced the oil filter and the air filter. Now I was like, okay, cool, that's nice. And getting the bike home, taking the seat off, you know, it looks like a new air filter, but it's, you know, it's not oiled. So yeah, there's that. So as far as maintenance goes and stuff like that on the bike, you know, questionable, right? So I'm going to be doing a full fluid change. I'm going to be replacing the oil and the oil filter, even though it was just done, apparently. Now, one thing the kid said, come on.
Focus, you fuck.
One thing the kid said is he made sure to use Kawasaki oil on this because he read or heard that if you use Kawasaki oil, Kawasaki will warranty the bike or the engine for its lifetime.
I'm fine. It's just, I don't know. I just have like kind of a weird feeling, you know?
So, there's that. Also, coolant tank, the overflow tank. I don't know if you can hear it. There's like maybe 1 milliliter of coolant in there. So, projects, right? I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but we'll go ahead and get into some other stuff. Now, one of the other things is wiring. And this apparently was not the product of this kid owning it. He got the bike this way. And the bike is not titled. I mean, it's titled. I looked up the title information, being in insurance, and it's registered to some guy in Alvin, Texas, which is out near Houston. Now, the kid that I got it from someone else who had a bill of sale, so obviously no title was transferred there. I'm assuming that from what this kid told me, which questionable resources from this point on, or from this point prior, but he got the bike from the guy that got the bike from the registered owner. The registered owner lost the title. No idea how you do that, because all my titles for my vehicles are in my safe. So, anyway, wiring. Let's look at the wiring. Lots of stuff unplugged. Lots of things unplugged. That's plugged in. If we move up here, there's a flasher relay, and there's no turn signals on this bike, right? No turn signals, but there's a flasher relay. And I was wondering why there's a flasher relay. If the turn signals were upgraded to LED at some point. There is actually an LED. I don't know if you can see in there. There's an LED headlight, which is cool, but none of the lights work on this bike. I say none of the lights. Neither one of the two lights on this bike work. So headlight doesn't work, tail light doesn't work, and I'm assuming, excuse me, I'm assuming maybe this connector here. That's pretty crap wiring there. I just noticed that coming off the rectifier. We'll figure that out. Maybe this light goes to the tail light. Again, this bike is totally void of turn signals. So also some more connectors here, unplugged. So we got some work to do to figure out what's going on there. There is this, which is at first glance, a battery tender, but this bike does not have a battery because it is a kickstart bike. See, over here, there we go. Kickstart. I know there are some bikes with Kickstarters that do have batteries to run electronics and stuff like that. This is not one of them. Taylor from the future here. I just realized while I was inside taking a dump after I filmed this video that the battery tender here, maybe I should look a little bit more into. Sorry if I actually focus on the thing. I looked at where it's running, and it's actually running up back to this wiring, which, duh, should have figured that out. Big positive, big ground. I'm definitely going to have to redo this with an inline fuse, of course. There was a battery in this at some point, which was probably running the lighting. So if I figure that out, I'll order a battery, I'll figure all this out, plug that sucker in. And I'm probably going to have to do, because I don't know where it would go, but I'm probably going to have to get a lithium battery, little tiny lithium battery, which not going to be an issue. Yeah, we'll figure that out. So wiring video coming up. Back to the video. So we'll figure that out. Also, the fuel tank bleeder valve is just, not secured. Valve's kind of loosey-goosey in there. There is this blue light on a plaque that says Baja Designs. Baja makes lighting kits, I'm sure you guys are aware. No idea what this blue light does. It doesn't come on, so we'll have to trace the wiring for that, see where that goes. There is no Baja lighting on this bike. It is actually a Cherbus, which is cool. So this guy, there you go, you can kind of see that, a Cherbus made in Italy, and on the tail light, a Cherbus. So that's neat, if it works. Again, we'll figure that out as we go. Other things that I want to do to this bike, the holes here were drilled out, definitely not from factory. You can see kind of how poorly, well, if the camera would focus, you fuck! You see how poorly those are drilled out. Now, I'm going to be building a back rack for this because I kind of want to do like maybe an adventure style bike, do some moto camping on it. Of course, 2-gallon gas tank, not going to get you far, especially once we figure out the jetting, and I put a different exhaust on there because, stock exhaust. But speaking of jetting, one thing that I noticed, yeah, all of that soot. So that's an issue. That means either it's running super rich or the valve clearances are wildly off, which, based on the information I know of this bike so far, is a possibility. So we will be jumping into the valve clearances as well. And I just noticed this plate over here. I actually forgot to mention this. So a common mod on this bike is to pull the snorkel off the airbox. Now imagine, bear with me here, from factory there's a plate similar to this, but in the middle here there's maybe a 4" by 2" snorkel that comes out for airflow. Of course, dirt bike, driving through water, mud, that kind of stuff, you don't want a whole lot of that getting in the airbox, so they had the snorkel on there. Also served a purpose for emissions. Now, I don't know if I don't know if it was this kid that I got the bike from or the guy before him. Probably not the guy that had the bike before him, which would have been the registered owner. But someone had the bright idea of taking a piece of plastic, and decent plastic, and cutting it out roughly of the shape of the airbox top here, and just bolting it down, you know, the airbox, right? This bike doesn't need air. So yeah, so this thing, no wonder it was running rich, right? Yeah, wasn't really getting a whole lot of air, so there's that. That's gonna stay off. That's going in the garbage. This bike will not have a top on the airbox. Another thing, speaking of mods, one common mod on this bike is to do a crankcase breather mod, which is done very incorrectly here. It's correct as far as having a crankcase breather filter on it. This one's by K&N, so, you know, that's nice. But it definitely has not been cleaned and relubricated in a long time. And it's also coming off the side of the engine case. So drive through some water and some mud, that's going straight in your crankcase. Yeah, proper way to do this mod is to run it up into the airbox, so we will be doing that at some point in the near future. But, Jesus Christ. So, as far as chain goes, probably an eBay chain, so we'll be replacing that. The sprocket. Front sprocket I actually might do a 13 tooth on if it's not already done. We'll pull that cover off, see what kind of sprocket's actually on there, but stock these things come with a 14 tooth, so... speaking of stock, the spark plug, I already pulled it out. It is, I don't remember what the product code is, but stock that come with an 8 spark plug as far as the heat denominator goes. This one has a 7 in it, so it runs a little bit hotter. That, you know, obviously is a little bit nicer. Worse for fuel mileage, worse for cooling, but it is water cooled, so that's not bad. I will be replacing the spark plug and replacing it with another 7, so we'll do that. We'll also pull the carb and check out what the current jetting is in it and fix that, because we are getting in the mail in a few days an eBay knockoff exhaust. So that'll be fun. I really don't think this thing's worth putting, you know, any actual money into as far as parts goes. But yeah, we'll be. I just realized we're gonna have to do some modifications on this. Probably just chop the stock exhaust right there, and then bolt ours up to it. But yeah, we'll figure that out when we need to. So this is the Project KLX. I know I've got a bunch of project videos and a fairing bolt stuck to my shoe. Focus, you fuck. Sorry. I know I've got a lot of project videos on this channel that have been incomplete, and that's probably my undiagnosed ADD. But anyway, this is one of the projects that will be finished. This will actually be finished. And we'll see what the bike looks like, you know, 10 years from now when I get around to finishing it. But no, seriously, I'm going to put some time into this. I do want to flip this bike. I want to get something bigger. Again, I'm a 6'7" fat ass. So a 300 that makes, like, I don't even remember what it was, like 33 horsepower. Maybe even less. Definitely less to the wheels. But we'll do some necessary mods, some power mods. Speaking of the carb as well, this bike should have, this is the first year model, and as long as it's on the California bike, which I don't think it is based on the registration history that I looked up, it should have an adjustable needle. So along with jetting, we will adjust the needle and figure out this bike's air to fuel ratio, get everything nice and tidy. So yeah, there's the project bike, man. Sorry for making this kind of a long video and ranting, but that's what we do here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Seriously, I know I covered this in like the intro video, the We're Back video, the revamp of this channel video, which if you haven't seen, I'll link that down below. Maybe put a little card here for you to check out. But anyway, love you guys, man. Seriously. Peace.